In our last episode, we put in a pretty strong effort to get ourselves abducted by aliens. This time around, we explore Nevada's Valley of Fire and then find ourselves way out in the boonies in another amazing spot. Well, we're in another amazing spot. It's gorgeous here, and it's free camping. Everybody loves free camping. We're just outside the Valley of Fire State Park by a handful of miles, and you can't beat this place. But one of the things I think I've tried to get across with these videos, whether or not you've picked up on it or not, is first of all, there's amazing stuff to see everywhere, and for the most part, it doesn't cost us a dime to see it. I'm a cheapskate by nature, and Brenda will back me up on that, but we're really not out here with the intent on being cheapskates. It's just most of the stuff we like to see and do costs us nothing. And really, that's kind of an important point, because the most common question we get asked, hands down, is how much does this lifestyle cost? Whether it's on the boat or in the van, how much does it cost? And there really is no easy answer, and that's kind of why I've avoided the subject, well, forever. There is no answer. I was always told before we left is that it costs what you have, which kind of sounds like a cop-out, but really that's the answer. We do know people that sail 6 months out of the year on $300 a month for a couple. $300 a month, that's their entire budget. They sail 6 months of the year, and then they work 6 months of the year. That's what it costs them. We also know people that spend more in a month than we'll probably make in a lifetime. But for us, this lifestyle really doesn't cost much. It's fuel in the tank, food in the fridge, and maintenance here and there, because most of what we like to see and do costs us nothing. But we're not opposed to spending a few bucks. Today, we're actually going into the Valley of Fire State Park. It'll cost us a few bucks to get in, and it'll cost us a few bucks more to camp there, and we'll be thrilled about it, because it's an amazing place. We've actually been here a couple of times in the past, and we loved it. Brad and Sonny, who are camped right next door to us, they haven't been there yet, so we're pretty excited to take them in there, show them around a bit. And yeah, that's it. We're going to finish up some coffee, have some breakfast, and then we're out of here. Hi, Pip. With a big bunch of coffee down the hatch, we piled in with the wild animals, and we were off. Established in 1935, the Valley of Fire is Nevada's oldest state park. And with just over 40,000 acres in its boundaries and a multitude of hiking trails from mild to wild, it's almost impossible to cover this entire place in one day. But with Brenda and Sonny around, and the fact that those two girls don't have a pause button, we were gonna give it our best shot. Oh, this is the Valley of Fire State Park in southern Nevada. This place is amazing. It's, well, if you've ever been down to southern Utah, some of the national parks down there, it's very similar with a whole lot less people, which we like. And we're going in. Pretty cool.
Lichen. It's orange lichen.
Beyond the little bits of colorful lichen that you've got to get up close and personal to find, the Valley of Fire has some of the most colorful, vibrant, and interesting rock formations we've seen anywhere. Formed from a series of complex uplifts and millions of years of erosion, what's been left behind is an ever-changing landscape that you almost have to see in person to believe. Beyond all the colors and textures and rock formations that are truly out of this world, this arid and inhospitable landscape holds a surprising number of plants and animals. And because it's in the desert, of course, if you're not careful, those plants and animals will reach out and get you. If you survive the headbutts, the miles and miles of hiking trails, and the plants and creepy crawlies that live in the desert that want to reach out and get you, this place still has more in store. The Valley of Fire has a human record that dates back nearly 11,000 years. And if you climb to the top of these stairs, you'll find just a little bit of that human record. But what's more impressive than this panel of petroglyphs way at the top of a big old rock is the fact that if you put in just a little bit more effort, hike a little farther into the desert and beat a little brush, you'll find the mother lode. Because just off the beaten track, there's more petroglyphs than you can shake a stick at. But you've just got to get out and find them.
I love petroglyphs. Love them. I don't know why. Partly, well, I think it's because they're old and I'm old. But this place has got tons of them. If you get off the little main track a little bit, they're everywhere. This little canyon we're in right now has the most, or the highest concentration of petroglyphs in all of Nevada. Can't beat that. Way up there. Almost feels like we're a little treasure hunter looking for petroglyphs. They're everywhere.
They are literally everywhere.
What did I tell you? They're everywhere.
Yep, pretty amazing. But you just gotta get out there and find them, which I gotta say is really a big part of the fun. And after an amazing day of hiking and exploring and treasure hunting, it's nice to know this place has some pretty great spots to camp.
Well, that was the Valley of Fire State Park. We covered almost every inch of it yesterday, thanks to Brenda and Sonny, because they're hiking machines, which means Brad and I, if we want to keep up, we got to be hiking machines. I'm a little worn out today, but this place is great. Pretty fun, really. But bad news, Brad and Sonny, they're going to peel off and split off from us for a few days. They've got some friends to go visit, and we've got stuff to go see. So we'll be back to our lonesomes for a little bit. But not to worry, handful of days, we're going to catch up with them again. I'm pretty sure of it. But for now,
There's something good cooking out there. Got bacon going.
Chili paste.
Bacon.
With a bunch of bacon down the gullet and no real plan on where to head next, we said farewell to the team, and then we were out of there. And we were heading out just in time. Well, there goes Valley of Fire State Park. Pretty awesome place, and we picked the right time to leave because there is a line getting in there. Don't know where we're going next, but I guarantee it's going to be nice and hopefully warm. And after a quick and easy bit of driving, we again found ourselves way out in the middle of nowhere and all to ourselves. Well, I'm sure I've said it before, but if not, out here in the west, at least the west half of the states, there are things to see everywhere and places to camp everywhere. And most of those places are free. We're about 10 miles, 15 miles outside of the town of Laughlin, Nevada. Big gambling city. And we're out in the boonies. It's a free camp spot. This is BLM land just off the old Kingman Highway. I haven't found any history on this thing. So if you know any history on this old highway, let me know. I haven't found any, but it looks awesome. We actually drove up as far as we could. There's a pretty big washout just a little bit farther up that this little home on wheels couldn't make it up through. So we found this camp spot here, and we're gonna go explore on foot. But the views are incredible. Pretty great. Just like I said, there's stuff to see everywhere. And this place here, I don't think is really on anybody's radar. Pretty amazing views. It's gonna be a good spot for the night. But it's still pretty cold. We're on the search for warmer weather and we still haven't found it. But I think tomorrow's the day. Mid-70s, just gotta go a little farther south. So we're gonna spend the night here. Tomorrow we're out. And I think there's ghost towns on the list tomorrow. I love those things. The longer we live this lifestyle, the less and less it's become about a destination. Sure, we love our national parks, historic sites, and tourist hotspots, but stick us on an old, abandoned, washed-out highway way out in the boonies, and we're just as content. Whether it's in our little floating home, our home on wheels, or just out roaming around on foot, the one thing that's for certain is that out here, there's a whole lot of stuff to see. And sometimes, that stuff to see is big and hairy and the size of a small child. But that's about it for this episode. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.